if 100 Thieves will shut them down. Both these teams sitting at 7-6 in the standings, and as we are in week 7 out of 9, every win is going to count that much more. So this could be a big make or break for one of these two teams. We'll have to see how it ends up affecting everything as we get into picks and bans, with Cassiopeia, Azir, and Braum banned out by the Thieves TSM. Responding with Rise, Skarner, who is pretty much the only permanent red side ban left these days, and one more still to choose.
Yep, things like Galio still on the table. Scion's dropped a little bit in that priority, but we'll see what TSM go for here. Rise was something they really didn't want to play up against, especially with the Cassiopeia being banned away.
Right.
The question is, do they once again throw another mid lane ban? But it looks like it's Jungle Kha'Zix getting a lot of respect recently.
Yep, we'll see him banned away. We got to see some pretty impressive moves already on that one today in the last game, but we won't get to see any more of it just yet. 100 Thieves decide to start things off, grab themselves AD carry first and foremost, picking up the Xayah there for Cody Sun.
And Cody Sun has been doing incredibly well from a damage per minute standpoint, but that leaves a Camille and Galio combo, which is snatched right up from TSM.
And we know how good this combination of two champions is. Camille ults someone, she issues the Hextech ultimatum, that Thunderdome that makes you not be able to get out of that small area, and the Galio dunk is all but guaranteed. Very potent combination.
Yeah, they played this combination up against Echo Fox back in week 6. They combined it with a Kha'Zix though, so he was able to play towards the pivot in the side lanes. But Bjergsen went 6-0 and 12 on that Galio. So TSM fans originally, they were like, Bjergsen, don't play Galio. Now it's more like, hey, play that AP Galio.
It's like, all right, get the Galio in there, get the Galio in there. Now 100 Thieves, they're going to respond. They're saying, all right, you got a combo. Well, we've got a combo that's literally written into the lore. So they're picking up the Xayah Rakan for themselves. Very strong there in the bottom part of the map. Also, going to go ahead and get that Sejuani there in the jungle.
Yeah, I like the Sejuani. She kind of went through a change where people started shifting around her runes a little bit, took away the fleet footwork from her, started putting Aftershock in there, been now splitting between the precision tree for some more attack speed. So she's in a very good place where she's a high priority jungler, I would say right below Skarner. But the combo that 100 Thieves have, Afromu was able to help them have a 2-0 last week with his Thresh and Blitzcrank and big playmakers. Now in the Rakan once again. Remember, he's one of the first people to debut Rakan in the North American LCS when it came out. He's loved this champion, and I want to see if he's able to get to that backline. And so you have to think, what are they going to ban out here? It's probably some mobile AD carries that Sven could use to get away, is what I would think.
Well, they'll ban away an immobile AD carry in the Varus. Pretty strong in the laning phase, though. So up against something like Xayah and Rakan that can traditionally smack you around in lane, you want to get rid of something that might be able to stand up against that. TSM targeting the mid lane pool a little bit here, with Talia being their first ban of this second part of the bans.
Yeah, Corki, Syndra, all kind of jump up. Corki,
yep,
there's the
there
one.
Getting rid of that one, so Bjergsen won't have to deal with that mid lane Galio. One more ban to go for 100 Thieves. You still expecting an 80 carry here, or you think we're going to see something different?
I would expect Tristana or Caitlyn possibly to be one of the bans here, because those can easily stay in the back, get away from Afromu's reach. And Afromu, this is a composition from TSM's side where the front line, it's pretty ample here. You're going to have a Camille that'll go pretty bruisery. You have a Zac for engage, and they don't want to have something that's going to, help that engage even more, but looks like the Alistar will be the other thing that they're going to take away. So no, not actually banning out any of those AD carries besides the Varus.
Preventing some engage, preventing some playmaking, not wanting their opponents to kind of be able to pull that same trigger that Afromu is so well known for and did so well last week. TSM, in terms of their AD carry, though, they will grab the Ezreal, so it is one of those mobile, hard to stick onto type of picks you were expecting.
Yeah, so able to dodge out. Sven's been loving this champion, this split so far. He's played it his last 3 games in a row. They've won 3 games, so he's only died once in all 3 of those games combined on the Ezreal, so we'll see how safe he is today. Whereas 100 Thieves, I do want to see what they pick in that top lane to go up against the Camille, because Someday yesterday played, I believe, the Cho'Gath, and it wasn't really that great, or I believe it was Scion, actually.
This game, he's going to be potentially taking the Fiora here. Still has 10 more seconds.
Oh, I like it.
About it. Nope. Gonna be grabbing the Poppy. You can't stop the Poppies, Irene. That is, unless, of course, you take him down over and over in lane. We'll have to see if Someday can have a better lane than what we saw from him yesterday. Cody Sun also picking up the victor there for Ryu in the mid lane, as TSM has 1 pick left to go. It is their support, and they're thinking about that Kench, unbenching him, letting him have that extra save power onto anybody who might be in some danger from the initiation from Afromu and Meteos, and they will lock that one in.
Yeah, so not going for a support that would help with the initiation, but helping with peel duty to get them away from somebody like Aphromoo, like you said. But I want to talk about this Poppy here, because yesterday, Someday was playing Sion into Shen and wasn't able to do too well. But Poppy is like the OG Camille counter. When Camille was just super busted and she came out, everybody was playing her, and they were like, how do we stop this thing? Eventually, Poppy kind of surfaced as the soft counter to it. But Poppy has received some buffs pretty recently with things to like more damage on her E, her shield having a little bit higher base value when she's able to shield herself. But this stops the Camille hook shot, it stops the Zac, and it stops a lot of the engage, and it stops the Thunderdome combo with the Camille and the Galio from hitting true immediately.
And that's something you always, or at least something I always look at when I see Zac locked in. If the enemy team's got something like a Janna, like a Poppy, something that can deny that huge engage mechanism that is literally what the champion is made to do, that's a big weapon that you've got in your arsenal that you can use to turn the tide of some fights that you otherwise might have got caught off guard in. So I like the fact that the Poppy's been picked up here. I personally think it's a great choice into what TSM has drafted. But for both these teams, things are looking pretty good where they're at in the standings. Like we said, 7-6. Both teams looking to make a statement here against another squad that's very similar to where they're at right now in terms of their playoff aspirations, their postseason goals right now.
Yeah, both these teams have gone 3-1 in the last half right here. And for 100 Thieves and TSM, it was a lot of communication issues in the first half. TSM looked a little bit scattered, and then 100 Thieves, it looked like too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Too many shot callers. And then as it's been Aphromoo on a lot of playmakers in the last few weeks, they've been looking better and better. But yesterday was where they faltered a little bit, mostly because of that top lane with Someday. But we'll see what he's able to do here in this counter pick matchup, and if they don't have that global pressure of the Shen on the other side, what Aphromoo is able to do and try to affect the game.
And speaking of how things are affected, there's a pretty big difference between the mental effect of going 1-1 on a week and going 0-2 on a week. Going 0-2 on a week, especially with a new patch, it feels really bad because then you feel like you've got a really bad read on the patch. You've got a lot of things you've got to correct for. And so for 100 Thieves, hitting that sort of a stutter yesterday in the success that they were on, you want to make sure that you stop that. You want to try to get yourself back into the game here. And you can tweet us your questions for Freak, Zyrene, and Azael to answer during NALCS tonight using hashtag NALCS. If you have anything pop into your mind during this game that you think, hey, that would be a good thing that I would like to ask those dudes, go ahead. Let us know on Twitter, and we'll see if we can answer some of those for you later on in the evening.
As for those hot takes, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Get the spicy stuff in there.
Exactly. That's what we love to see.
Make them answer the tough questions. Don't just give them the easy stuff.
And in this game right here, actually, I do have some questions myself because Meteos, once again, going for the fleet footwork when I feel like Aftershock on this patch is actually just a little bit better. Changes up what you can take in the early game as well. You can even go for the medallion instead of the talisman to start, or sorry, the talisman to start instead of the machete. And also, Cody-san has coup de grace still, whereas most AD carriers have actually swapped over to cut down, the one where if somebody has more HP than you, you can actually do more damage to them, which would be very good here. So hold on.
Plenty of damage coming out
of that W.
100 Thieves bottom lane. Yeah, the Xayah W early on, the clean cuts at level 1, applying to Rakan and Xayah both, makes them very deadly in those early stages.
Already got the heal out of Sven. They were just so spooked by that, and that's why this combination early is just so powerful. You saw Aphromoo, as soon as he went forward with his own W, was able to actually just allow them a lot of damage. And so they'll hit level 2 first, they'll zone them off, and try to stop that bottom lane from TSM from actually having an advantage here.
With the Victor this game, you think we're going to see some of the Iceborne Gauntlet, Abyssal Mask, the Dun build, or are we going to see more of that traditional AP type of Victor that just blasts people down?
I don't know if we've even seen the Iceborne Gauntlet Abyssal Mask in competitive. I think the AP item changes has really made it so Victor feels really good about buying things, even like Tyr feels really good on him because he gets mana from his Hex Core, so buying the Archangel Staff, just even more AP on top of it. So I think the AP itemization already pushed it over the edge where they won't go for those Abyssal Mask plus Iceborne Gauntlet tank builds.
Well, Archangel is just so strong now, too. I mean, you can really come away from that overall AP itemization overhaul saying that the people who best utilize that item are the big winners walking away from that one. I think it was yesterday I heard something. Ryze's solo queue win rate went up something disgusting like 5% because of the Archangel change, because he's such a good user of that item. So anybody else who can use it, I would expect some similar good vibes heading their way. Top side, Someday down a little bit of CS here early against Haunter. Has a couple more creeps to farm up to keep that relatively even there in that matchup. Bjergsen and Ryu just continuing to trade back and forth here as Bjergsen will clear those waves out first and foremost, since Ryu does need to get a Hex Core upgrade to get the second part of that laser before Victor's wave clear really becomes that trademark of the champion that we know him for.
Exactly. Needs that extra little bit of a oomph behind it. I believe it's actually called an aftershock on the E.
We got too many things
I know.
sounding the same now.
Too many abilities, they're all just adding up. Yeah, it's Augment Aftershock is what it's actually legitimately called. So
we have to change that around. More aggro coming out in the bottom lane from 100 Thieves, going on to Sven once more. Aframu not afraid to go in on this TSM bottom lane, recognizing the strength of the Xayah and the Rakan. And if you're 100 Thieves, you got to be feeling good about that, because this is the TSM bottom lane that, remember, was imported from Europe, from G2, from the team that won the EU LCS time and time and time again. These guys, best in the West, they were called by many. And 100 Thieves, no fear going up against them right now.
Right now, you can see Mithy is actually completing his back. Will he swap for teleport? No, he's just going to go ahead and take a back timer there and get himself back down to the bottom lane. He does have minion dematerializers, whereas nobody on the side of 100 Thieves has any minion dematerializers coming into this game, which are very important for Baron Banner cannon minions.
They're a special item that you just got to keep tucked away for a little while, just in case.
Yeah, it's better to have it not needed.
Always be prepared. Bjergsen clearing out the wave once more here in the mid lane. Not quite level 6 on that Galio. Level 6 is going to be pretty huge this game, Zyrene. We've got so many big game-changing ultimates on the champions that we've seen drafted this game. The Galio, the Camille, the Zac, the Tom Kench. I mean, honestly, every single champion in this game, the ulti is some sort of enabler. You don't have anything that the ult's just kind of going to make you feel a little bit better. You don't have something that it's not going to do a ton with. Level 6, I'm hoping we get to see a lot of excitement, something happening from one side or the other.
Well, with less vision because Tracker's Knife is being removed from the game, you might actually see that. You can see there's way less jungle vision. It's more just shallow river vision is what we see a lot of the times now. Those control wards don't go very deep. You want them to last a long time and have them on your side of the map. So we aren't seeing a lot of control wards at like the enemy red buff or on the back side of their red pit, because it's mostly just, hey, we need to be able to protect our own jungle for invades and keep our jungler safe just in case. But it just makes some teams, slow down a little bit, but other teams say, hey, it rewards proactivity because they won't see that I'm making this play on bottom lane until I actually make the play, right? They can't track me, and I don't lose my whole topside jungle for doing so.
Right, you don't immediately walk over the ward and the guy says, all right, I get your chickens, I get your Krugs, I get everything that's going to be here. You have more of a chance. There's more potential risk, there's more potential reward. I think that makes for a very interesting situation.
It just makes it so that the aggressor has less taken away from them. So being proactive is more rewarding, especially when you aren't spotted.
Meteos will just continue farming up for now. Getting close to level 6, not quite there yet. Does hit it off of grabbing that buff, so if he had a bit more mana, we might be expecting a play from him, but it will be a little bit difficult without a lot of resources in the tank for now.
I wonder if he'll take second blue, because I know Meteos has this debate with all his mid laners of who second blue actually belongs to, because I know he thinks it belongs to the jungler.
I agree.
I agree as well.
Yeah.
Second blue, man. Sometimes second blue gets you level 6. You gotta take it.
Sometimes it gets you level 6. I mean, it gives you plenty of opportunities to continue just roaming around the map, staying out on the map to make plays because you've always got your mana bar topped off. You get extra money from killing it. Just feels good.
Exactly. Right now, Bjergsen does have blue. I believe it was handed over to him by Mike Young, so Meteos will probably hand this over to Ryu just so they can match buffs.
Now, for Mike Young, it feels a lot better to give the blue buff away since you are Zac. You're not depending on the mana, but a little more scrappy fights here in the top side. You can see the Bomby Cinder compared to the Tiamat. In terms of the purchases there, Poppy loving to pick up those tank items. Bomby Cinder definitely fitting the profile of what she wants to be doing so she can get these waves pushed out. Be that tank as the mid-game fights will start to happen.
And one of the great things about having a Bomby Cinder on a Grasp of the Undying Champion is that you don't have to auto-attack the minions like 3 times to stay in combat. You literally stand in the minion wave as Poppy. It charges up the 4 stacks you need to get to your Grasp of the Undying, and then you throw your shield and you get your Grasp of the Undying proc. So you get the melee value off of it as well. So you get that extra HP. It feels really good as Poppy.
Just a little bit of extra synergy there as Someday gets the slam into the wall onto Hanser. Gets both parts of the Q there as well. Fantastic trade for him.
He was late.
And some trouble here, flashing away. Someday tries to go for the kill, not quite able to find it. Mike Young swoops in, but Someday walking away victorious from that one.
But Meteos, they might go after Mike Young here. Mike Young not going to be dove here. Yeah, the Poppy W, the steadfast presence will stop the Camille hook shot, and he used it way too late there.
Still got the best of the trade by a significant margin. Still managed to get the flash from his opponent. However, he expended, I should say, his own flash to do it.
Yeah.
So summoner for summoner there in the top side. TP used from Hanser, though, so that means you do have a global advantage for 100 Thieves.
Exactly. That's the advantage that he really does get out of this, is that he gets to keep his teleport, walk back, because Hanser had to TP to not miss that lane wave, and stay even in CS and experience. But I mean, Someday now has his own. He'll go ahead and grab the minions because they had to push all the way across the lane. I don't think he really loses any there either. So now the bottom lane has to watch out for the TP that could come through from Someday.
And I like seeing this from Someday after what we talked about with sort of a rough showing from him yesterday, struggling against the Shen of Impact. Can he bounce back today, considering that below par performance that he had? And it looks like he's doing a pretty good job for himself so far. Obviously, we're 10 minutes into the game. You can't tell the story of the entire match from just the opening, but when you start strong, you got a much better chance of being able to finish strong. And I like what I'm seeing from Someday's Poppy here so far.
Yeah, I also checked out his runes, and he's taking the new one that was replaced that replaced Celestial Body, the tonic one where you get the extra potion duration movement speed. Hold on, Mike Young hitting the turret.
Trying to make the play onto Ryu here. Does manage to bring him back with a kidnap. Ryu going to be taken very low, but does stay alive. Drops the Chaos Storm to ward his opponents away. Meteos coming in from the flank, but there's not much to find here. They're just going to take the time, shove the wave out, and let Ryu go home.
Yeah, Ryu backs up. Has to blow his flash, though, and none of the summoner spells were used by TSM, so that's actually going to be a way better back for Bjergsen, and Ryu's going to have to be sent home. He does augment one more time, and he grabs a tier. So, like I had said before, the Archangel Staff is probably what he's going to be going for, because the Hex Core has mana on it, and it just synergizes incredibly well with that item.
Gives you a much bigger shield, makes you that much harder to kill in the fight. Who needs to play a tank build when you can get a 1,000 HP shield because you're stacking enough mana?
That's kind of what the Orianas, the Cassios are saying right now. Even Ori and Syndra I've seen sometimes go for it. So this will be a very tanky Victor. No need for the Iceborne Goblet.
All right, checking back in on this bottom lane that we've been scrolling to every now and again. It's honestly the same story that's been told for the last 11 minutes, though, as Cody Sun and Afromu are just controlling the lane. They're shoving it up. They're forcing their opponents to farm underneath the turret because Sven and Mithy, as an Ezreal Tahm Kench, can't really fight this 2v2.
But this might be a 5 or 4-man dive on the bottom side because Meteos just went into that brush, found a ward in there, I believe, yeah, ends up killing it and puts the zombie ward down in its place. And you already saw that Ryu was able to have priority mid and went down for a roam as Bjergsen back to complete that Rod of Ages.
True Shot Barrage fired off by Sven just to try to clean these minions out here a little bit. TSM knows something's going on. Meteo's still down here. Here comes your engage. Dive onto Sven. Looking to take him down. Mithy with the save. 100 Thieves going to be forced away from this when Mike Young flies in, trying to make sure nothing else follows this one up, as TSM will expend Bjergsen's teleport there in the bottom lane as well.
Yeah, Bjergsen completes the teleport. Someday actually TPs and cancels, so his is on a reduced cooldown, but that'll give Hanser a little bit of a window. But hold on, trying to make a play on mid with Ryu, who has no flash.
Mithy going in. Mike Young tries to jump after this. An elastic slingshot going to ring true, find the mark. Galio coming in now as well with the grand entrance. Ryu trying to escape away from this one. First blood over to Mithy. Meteos not there in time to save anyone. Afromu looking to go right back in, maybe start something up. Instead, going to be kidnapped backwards. Having to dash away to safety. Mike Young going to be taken very low here, but he still has the passive ready to go. Afromu with the flash over the wall. Keeping himself all right in this one. 100 Thieves walk away, but TSM are the victorious ones in this fight.
I gotta say, Mike Young in the right place at the right time down bottom because they had still spotted Meteos, and even though Meteos backed up, they still went for that play, and he read that. And I love that Mithy heads up on that play. He went for cleanse, swapped out his exhaust for it, and that made the difference there where he was stunned, but able to actually eat Sven and protect him from that dive.
Fans are getting riled up too. TSM putting themselves on the board. They're excited to see this happen. Let's take a look one more time here.
Yeah, Mithy and Mike Young both coming up together. The Q onto Ryu, hits him into the turret. Yep. And there's the slam, just gets him right on the edge. Yeah, really good unstoppable there as well from Mike Young, channeling the ultimate to make sure he doesn't get knocked up, and he's able to pull Afromu and Cody further back, which forces Afromu to blow the flash as Hanser arrives.
Well played from Mike, well played from Mithy. Honestly, the whole TSM squad coming together well there to make sure they got that play down. But now 100 Thieves trying to go for the same play they tried last time again, but instead, they're just going to scare them away, take the turret for themselves, and even though TSM got the first blood in terms of kills, it's turret first blood over to 100 Thieves, and that means they're the ones that are actually up 1,000 gold here. Yeah,
and the fact that the TP from Hanser was blown very early on meant that they can go for that play, and Sven and Mithy can't really push up, so they place defensive wards and they just wave clear under turret. The turret takes damage, but right there, that's when Hanser's TP finally came back up. So if they hadn't have done that as early as they did, when you push up to try and get that turret as 100 Thieves, you risk TP flanks from behind. That can't be answered because Someday had used his. So that's right from 100 Thieves, especially Meteos, to come down there and just really brute force that turret down, because you're not going to get another opportunity to do that in the next 5 minutes or so.
Thieves sitting with a small gold lead to their names, got one turret up, but one kill down. First Drake is that Cloud Drake that often results in not a lot of fights being taken for it. Generally, it'll be an afterthought. Somebody will say, okay, we're in the right place according to the rotation. We'll just pick it up as we go.
Yeah, and speaking of these rotations, it's like Bjergsen, we just saw that pop up on the side where he's 2-0. I believe that was a 28 KDA so far in the 2018 spring split. And right now, he's 25 CS up above Ryu, and if you look at the clock, it's 15 minutes, and he's already got 170 CS to his name right now. So Bjergsen on this Galio used to be one of those things where keep him away and a little bit of a TSM meme.
Yeah, we want him on a carry, but the Galio provides plenty of carry potential.
Yeah, and when TSM look best this split, it's usually when Bjergsen isn't the primary carry, but he's like a secondary carry who enables the other people, because he's going to do well here, but if he's able to go to side lanes and help out Hanser and help out Sven, these other guys who really like to play for those mid-late games, especially Sven, then TSM, that's when they've been looking the cleanest.
Let's see if they can make anything happen on to Hanser here. Galio coming in, looking to keep that top laner alive. There you go, Bjergsen providing the cover necessary to get Hanser out. Now the TSM counterattack coming towards Cody's son. Mike Young also picking up the Rift Herald at the same time as the Thieves get away.
Yeah, the fact that he's able to get the Rift Herald and nobody dies on the bottom side is huge, because that's where you get to have your cake and eat it too, because you usually trade sides of the map. But right now, they traded basically just turret damage on that tier 2.
Someday trying to get close to Sven here, see if he can do a little bit of damage, but trying to do that to an Ezreal as a Poppy can often be a difficult task to be charged with, as 100 Thieves continue to push here on the bottom side. The strength of the Xayah and Rakan definitely showing itself this game as these guys just continue to constantly apply pressure on the bottom half of the map.
And they're allowed to do this because Meteos still holding on to that yellow trinket the entire game. Just keeps placing down as many wards as he can in the enemy jungle, and he's hovering. He's doing what you do for your split pushers as a jungler, is you just make sure that that area is completely safe, and they get that bottom tier 2.
All right, TSM summoning up the Rift Herald in the top side, though. They want to get something in return. They've still got no turrets to themselves yet, so let's see if they can grab something up here. Someday knocking away everything except for Shelly. Gonna make the turret put a little bit more damage onto Shelly this way. Meanwhile, bottom side, 100 Thieves taking the opportunity, like I said earlier, to grab that Cloud Drake, sort of as an afterthought. They were already there. They got what they came for. Why not pick this one up as a bit of a bonus? Someday does a good job there, stopping the Rift Herald push without losing a single turret.
Yeah, actually, don't remember, but I thought that you could knock Shelly away.
That would be pretty cheesy.
I mean, I think you could at one point. I remember very distinctly having a Rift Herald fly away from a Poppy ultimate. So,
for those of you that haven't been playing League of Legends since the beginning of the game came out, back in, I can't remember if it was beta or if it was right as the game came out, Poppy used to be able to push Baron out of the pit, and you could shove him into the enemy base, and he would just attack everything. And you couldn't kill him because he had too much regeneration because he was out of the pit.
Man, that was back when Poppy could like point and click on you, and then you're the only person who could do damage to her.
Yup.
Like,
old Poppy shoving Baron into the enemy nexus and letting him sit there.
Oh my god.
Yep. Good times, good times.
I personally like this Poppy a little bit more. A lot more personally.
I think a lot of people like this Poppy a lot more. 100 Thieves feeling pretty good about it right now. 167 compared to the 157 in the farm department when you look at Someday and Hanser side by side there. Someday building towards the Iceborne Gauntlet next, so a ton of armor on this guy so far. Going to be very difficult for either Hanser or Sven to do a lot of damage to. that means it'll be up to Bjergsen and maybe even a little bit of Mike Young to lay enough damage down to keep Someday from just diving wherever he wants to into the back lines of TSM, but it's still going to be a hard job.
Oh, and it looks like the minion dematerializers are pretty much all gone in this game now. So
not saving them.
It's something that we saw like yesterday. People were buying a bunch of banners. Now it's not as prevalent, but hold on.
Oh, Cody Sun having to pop the ulti to get himself away here. Flash expended as well. 100 Thieves won't lose their AD carry, but with those resources spent, now they've got to be that much more concerned about what might follow up. Cody Sun going to be in some trouble here, backing away. Bjergsen comes in. TSM still going to make something happen. The counterattack coming out. Sven going to be in some trouble here. Meteo's coming in from the side now as well. Everybody's still alive. Bjergsen having to run away as Someday's here on the front line. TSM still looking to get themselves out, but Bjergsen will go down, and 100 Thieves find their mark.
They lose the turret, but they still group up, and they're going to be able to counter push here.
Listen to the crowd. They know the Thieves were able to find the play there. And now, like you said, even though the turret drops, they get the turret in return. That ends up equalizing out in terms of objectives. And the kill still goes the way of 100 Thieves, answering the aggro from TSM.
And that could have been way worse for TSM, but 100 Thieves able to kind of get exactly what they want out of it. And they wanted to get Sven on top of it, but not quite.
Mithy walks up, gives him a little lick in the bush, and they walk away. Someday continues pushing up the bottom side. Monster's gonna answer that split push. And let's take one more look at how this happened in the top lane.
Oh, so Cody Sun even flashes afterwards just in case, because it did look like Mike Young was going to get him. But then Sven goes too far forward here, but I love how you watch 100 Thieves, they disengage this by Cody Sun getting away after Bjergsen uses the ultimates. A little bit mistimed there, could have been a little sooner, but watch this. Sven goes forward, Mithy eats him, gets hit by the Sejuani ulti, but the cleanse still comes up huge. If Mithy doesn't have that, he's dropping Sven a little bit further towards the team of 100 Thieves, and Sven even blows his flash afterwards. But Bjergsen is the one who gets caught down there, and then they end up going 1-0, and they get those turrets 1-1.
And you know, we were talking about how you said 100 Thieves so far in the 4 games they've played in the second half of the split here, they're 3-1. The one loss came out because it looked like what you said, too many cooks in the kitchen. Yep. Too many people trying to shot call. The heads of the Hydra all snap in different ways, but now they're a coordinated machine. Mithy going to be called out, pops the thick skin, keeping himself alive just a moment longer. 100 Thieves will not find that one.
But look at that. They all back up, even though they would 100% win that if they kept going. It's just they don't have enough vision in the jungle to know what's going on. And the TSM TP from Hanser, there's no way he could join that. And they have to keep timing Bjergsen's ultimate in the mid lane as well.
I will not fault a team for erring on the side of caution.
Well, because 100 Thieves yesterday, they didn't err on the side of caution. The Shen just kept showing up. It's like, we're going to all in bottom lane. Boom, here's Impact Shen. That happened so many times. It ended up deciding the entire game in every single lane for 100 Thieves very early on in the game. And so right now it just seems like they're playing a little more cautious because there are semi-globals here from both the Galio and the Tahm Kench.
And I think that's the mark of a team that's recognizing their mistakes well when you're able to make those kinds of adaptations just between the 2 games that you're playing on the same weekend. When you can say, look, one of the issues that we had yesterday, one of our biggest problems, was the fact that we were going in too often when we didn't know 100% what we were going into. We got caught off guard. Let's fix that. Let's make sure we're not making those same mistakes this time. 100 Thieves backing away now from the mid lane, trying to pressure onto that tier 1. Will back themselves away. They still enjoy about a 1,000 gold lead here, but this game could easily go either way right now, Zyrene.
Oh. It comes down to those team fights. Hanser caught.
Let's see if they can make anything happen here. Afromu going there and able to find 1. Now back towards 2. Unstoppable. Mike Young getting himself away. Ryu falling back now as well. Cody Sun popping the ulti there. 100 Thieves.
Mid priority though. They'll get damage on this turret without an answer. It depends on if Mike Young finds a way to get in there, but he's not going to go for it.
Not today. 100 Thieves picking up turret number 4 for themselves, building that gold lead up to 2,000. Drake spawning here in just a couple of moments. It is a Mountain Drake, as we're going to see yet another initiation. Afro going in, but might be in some trouble. Backs away with just 200 HP without the ultimate there. It's a bit risky to go in like that with everyone from TSM nearby.
And this is where the game gets tricky for 100 Thieves because there's double TP on TSM. They only have 1 themselves, and this is a 1-3-1 composition from TSM where they're just trying to make sure they can get picks. If somebody answers, They have the Hextech Ultimatum plus Galio Ultimate later. So 100 Thieves, they really want this Mountain Drake. This will help them group, threaten objectives faster, and TSM want to deny it here so that they can split push and have that work out for them a little bit sooner. But Bjergsen's just TPing to join the team, not really to flank here.
Yeah, Bjergsen just wants to make sure he's a part of this fight if it breaks out. It will be a full-on 5 versus 5, but Mike Young's going to be disengaged someday with a very nice ulti there from the Poppy. But the front line of 100 Thieves, very low now. TSM still looking to secure the Drake. They've got it down to 2K. Meteos waiting over the wall. Wants to jump in here, see if maybe he can smite secure this, decides to go in for it, but it's Mike Young who's got the smite secure. TSM trying to get away from this one. Mithy with the save onto Bjergsen, but TSM still in full retreat. Ryu gonna be stunned up over the wall. Haunter going right back in, trying to lock him down. Vin coming through as well with some damage, but everybody walks away on both sides. TSM taking the win there, grabbing the objective.
Came down to a smite fight there between Meteos and Mike Young. Mike Young just able to edge him out just barely. Same level on the both of them, too.
Sven grabbing himself the blue buff, shifting back over the wall there. Ezreal getting a lot of use out of that buff for himself, especially with Trinity Force and Muramana done. He'll be able to spam a lot of high damage Mystic shots into the front line of 100 Thieves. Warmogs is up on both of the big meatballs for the 100 Thieves composition, though, so that poke needs to land onto somebody else for it to actually stick.
Yeah, but they do have to watch out because they've heavily indexed on armor here for both of the tanks and HP, whereas remember, Galio, AP, he builds a lot of AP now, the Rod of Ages into the Luden's Echo, so he has that 20% CDR from Luden's. His wave clear is better for longer here, where he'll be able to kill caster minions. And Winds of War is percent HP, so the Warmogs isn't really going to help you as much, but hold on.
Mike Young once again wisely using the unstoppable to prevent himself from being put in a lethal situation, instead gonna force his opponents to fall back, but he does expend the ultimate to do so. 100 Thieves always looking for these picks though. I like the initiative that they're taking. Bjergsen gonna step up, the Winds of War will blow, and like you said, this is a mage build from Galio. These aren't tank items at all. I mean, yeah, Rod of Ages has some health on it, but this guy's really gonna hurt if he can connect with that combo onto these frontliners that are not building any MR whatsoever just yet.
And it even looks like Cody-san has gone for a more team fighting build himself too, because he's got the Runaan's Hurricane as opposed to the Static Shift for wave clear. And the Runaan's Hurricane like doesn't throw out extra feathers on Xayah or anything fancy like that. It's just to do some extra damage in team fights to peripheral targets. So it is 100 Thieves kind of indexing towards team fighting, whereas TSM, it does seem like wave clear is the name of the game, stall for a little bit longer, and then get themselves to a point where they can 1-3-1 and catch people. Because as soon as 100 Thieves, one person is out of line, they'll be dunked on very quickly.
And if the name of the game is stalling, TSM have been doing a pretty good job of it for the last 10 minutes or so. The game has been 1,000 to 2,000 gold in favor of 100 Thieves, but it hasn't really expanded beyond that. It's not like TSM are bleeding out, but now they might be caught. Hearts are going to be caught out there. Afromu initiating things in style as Mike Young going to have that passive pop. TSM hopping away. The Bloblets crawl back together, but they crawl to the grave. Meteos grabs the kill, and the Thieves are on to Baron.
Afromu has been doing so much work for 100 Thieves in the second half of the split here. That was an amazing call because they're 4v5. Someday is bottom that whole time.
Afromu has just been the man for this team. He has found opportunity time and time again. He sets it up here today against TSM and gets his team the Baron. Now, that 1,000 to 2,000 gold lead has broken into the 3,000 bracket, and they've got the chance to do more. Let's take a look.
Man, with less vision, more opportunities for picks like this come through, and Afromu with a very clean engage onto Hansu, who's face checking, and the other two members of TSM, because there were three right there, the other two are just about 500, 600 units away to the right, and they find that swift pickup there.
All right, now, so many times we see teams take Baron and then not find a ton with it. And a lot of times we see teams take Baron and do amazing things with it. This is what decides it. When I'm watching a game of League of Legends, it's not about did I get Baron, it's about what did I do with Baron. And for 100 Thieves, you've still got two turrets standing outside of the TSM base that you want to push onto. That's what they're doing right now with the 4-1 split.
Yeah, and it looks like adaptation from yesterday's, like no banner of commands even being built in this game right now.
Meme free.
Yeah, block it instead, and look at that someday off on the side. They're trying to catch him out.
4-man collapse. That Poppy is tanky, but not tanky enough for that. The problem for TSM is,
there's too many people.
What have they left undefended? The answer is the middle lane. The inhibitor turret dropping now. Inhibitor under fire, but 100 Thieves, again, look at the patience being expressed from this team, trying not to overstay. Afromu with the counterattack. Ryu gonna be taken very low. The execution not there from 100 Thieves, and TSM's able to make the collapse and find 2.
They get those 2. They dissuade that siege from coming through. They protect their inhibitor, and they get to hold on to their base for a bit longer because that Baron buff off of 2 members.
You could see the Thieves wanting to back away, but TSM was just too quick here.
Yeah, the fact that they lost someday on the top side, TSM, it's opportune for them to go because it would be a 5v4, just playing the numbers game, and you can see there, even in the 4v4, they come out on top because Afromu is just trying to defend Ryu, who got caught out.
Ryu does go down. Afromu goes with him. So TSM, their opponents might have got the Baron, but they are not out of this one yet. Looking to take down the tier 2 in mid lane. They'll find that one pretty easily for themselves. Game still only 3,000 gold apart. You got 1 minute left on Baron, so you still got some more pushing potential for 100 Thieves. Still a tier 2 standing there in the top lane. But if you're TSM, that's what you want to see. That chance to punish and the ability to execute when the chance is presented.
Exactly, and now they're looking at 100 Thieves, who now have Zhonya's on Ryu. So he went for a defensive option here as his 3rd item. No death cap or anything like that for Burst. It's just, hey, I don't want to get completely obliterated by the team fighting of TSM where they just single out Ryu, because he does look like a prime target, but now he's got Zhonya's and he's got the Seraph's Embrace. So unless he's in a position like he just was,
Right.
he's going to be completely fine.
Very difficult to secure the kill onto a target like that. Zhonya's up on both of these mid laners, meaning they both have that playmaking / outplay potential, as the Ocean Drake will go the way of 100 Thieves.
And I do like Sven's itemization here. He went for those 3 primary items and went into the Last Whisper next immediately. So you saw all of that armor that's being built on Someday and Meteos. Now there's a little bit more on Ryu. So this item is definitely worth it right now to pick up on that Ezreal at this point in the game. Whereas Cody-san, his itemization I think is also on point because there isn't as much armor on the enemy team.
Right.
It's a Bruiser Camille, and then you also have Mike Young going more towards the AP defenses very early on.
And I like seeing players make sure they're adapting their builds properly based on the situation in the game. Leave the cookie cutters at home for Christmas with grandma. Make sure that you're taking each game as an opportunity of its own to assess what's going to be the wisest choice. I like what we're seeing so far. QSS also now picked up by Cody, wants to make sure if he gets caught out or stunned up, he's got that get out of jail free card.
Because he's kind of the one that if he goes down, then it might actually just be over because he's so much DPS, and they're a 3-tank team right now, considering that the Rakan, I say, is on that little bit of a tankier side here, and he has that Ardent Sensor just
2.5
to kind of
meatball.
enable him. Yeah, exactly, 2.5. And so they're trying to enable Cody-san, who has that super high damage per minute, right? But just keeping him alive in these late game fights. I thought this patch wasn't going to go as late game, but 100 Thieves, if they stall that point, that's where they've been finding a lot of their victories this split, is off of those late game coordinated calls from this veteran team.
We'll see if they can do it. Still up against plenty of veterans on the side of TSM. I mean, you're talking about a team that knows how to win in late game. TSM have pulled off some crazy ones in the past. It's still a very close game if you're looking at the gold in this one. Not even 2,000 apart between the two teams. We talked about how the 80 carries both have plenty of items online. The mid laners also packing plenty of punch, as those frontliners are getting themselves pretty tanky here as well. Elder Drake will also be on the table the next time the dragon spawns, and you can see as the timer appeared right there on your screen, Baron's up in 2 minutes. So plenty of stuff available to fight for here very soon as Mike Young charges up the slingshot, goes over the wall. Here comes the Galio. Zhonya's popped by Ryu, keeping himself safe. Into the middle goes Bjergsen, and Ryu hopping away for now. Afromu going to be taken low, but not down. Haunter swooping in. Hextech ultimatum is issued, and the Thieves are caught as Haunter's going to be brought down instead. Sven looking to run away from Cody. Feathers fly as he's able to root up Mythy. Sven getting himself away, but the stun is down, and Mike Young is out. Someday grabs the kill.
That fight is just all over the place. 100 Thieves actually win it despite losing Afromo super early on, and that's because they're able to divide their damage and keep those guys alive.
100 Thieves now has the opportunity to push up the mid lane here. It's TSM standing only 2 men strong, trying to defend. The inhibitor likely not defensible in a position like this. Meteos and Someday, they're just too much of a front line. Gives Cody plenty of time to hit that inhib, take it down. They'll back away. reset because Baron's Irene is just a minute away in this one.
And a lot of summoner spells actually blown there. The flashes from the AD carries are very important. Watch this. Watch Ryu. He places down after he comes out, throws down his W. After he gets away, throws down the ultimate. There's this stun lock position there. So much damage comes through. Even though Aframu comes out, Hotzer comes in with a little bit of a kung fu kick there, right over with the flash. They take him out, but now Cody, he's just so much damage, and he decides he's gonna go flash after Sven. He's not able to kill him, but regroups with his team there instead of chasing down the two, just to help those tanks kind of finish off that last one.
A three-man tank fight there in the river. 2 tanks versus 1. The 2's going to win just about every time.
Super well played, I think, by Afro and Ryu. Ryu with the Zonias to avoid the initial burst. Afro, as soon as the ultimate from Galio came through, he countered, got the knockups, and then Ryu got to cleanse, walk away, and throw down his own stun and ultimate to contribute.
100 Thieves starting up the Baron, deciding they want to go for this. TSM popping the TP, saying, all right, we'll answer it. Baron down to 4K. Hextech ultimatum going to be issued. Here comes the Galio dunk into the back of the pit. Baron still going to be left alive. Mike Young taken low. TSM trying to disengage from this when their jungler is nearly dead, and that means the secure is there for 100 Thieves.
Hey, Someday had a stopwatch pretty much this entire time. Finally uses it there as he ends up being the target of the Bjergsen Hotzer combo. And then they have to all just kind of get out of the pit because Ryu is now doing some serious damage here.
This has been one hell of a game so far. I mentioned how these two teams were tied in the standings coming into this one, how they would both like to grab a win here to really show that, hey, they're the team that should be one of the standout names you're looking off heading towards the postseason. And right now, 100 Thieves are looking good as they press up into the top side of the TSM base. Inhibitor number 2 will be their target. Inhibitor turret still standing pretty well for now. That cannon minion, not exactly as defensible as some of the bannered up cannon minions that we've seen in other games since the patch hit, because no banner minion. 100 Thieves potentially wishing that they had one of those right now, but things have been going well for them so far, so they'll just have to continue on without it.
I mean, it's 7-5 right now. Hold on, though.
Aframu going in. Mike Young also going to be minding his way into the back line, but he's charmed up and brought down. Cody's son with the damage. 100 Thieves now in a 5 versus 4, going right back into the mix. Here we go. Hotzer in the back line, but it's Bjergsen trying to slam dunk right into the middle. Ryu with the Zonias flashed away to keep himself alive. Hotzer trying to remain unstoppable. Someday still going to be stuck there on the front line. The ultimatum seals his fate as 100 Thieves try to get themselves away. Sven goes forward. Mithy into the very back. That was a gift for the Thieves. A double kill for Cody. And that may just be the game.
That may not just be gift of the kills. That might be the gift of the game there, Flowers.
Tragic decision there from TSM, and the Thieves will take it all the way to the Nexus. Pushing now, 4 men strong into the base. Nexus turret number 1 under siege. Hotzer and Sven, they'll try to do the impossible defense here. They do manage to take down Cody with one hell of an uppercut kick from Hotzer. Next is going to be Ryu, and TSM will hold the line.
That's Cody's first death of the game there as they're trying to push for that end. It looked like it was within 100 Thieves' grasp, but nope. TSM able to actually counterattack there. But that has just been an insane series of events. It does put 100 Thieves in a very good position with those inhibitors down, but at the same time, it's still TSM in the game.
Let's take one more look at how everything happened here in the top lane. Aframu on the trigger once again.
Yeah, Aframu goes in, but gets burst down incredibly low. Right afterwards, you'll see it here, where Mike Young, he's the one who starts it off. I don't think he has the passive, and he just gets burst. But hold on, Elder Dragon's on the table. That's more important right now for the state of the game.
All right, TSM want to secure this one for themselves. You definitely don't want to give it away to 100 Thieves. They'll take it down to 3K. Not quite secured just yet. Meteos over the wall, might be looking to go in, steal it away if he can. A very nice denial comes out from the Poppy, but you've still got the secure there from Sven's Ezreal. TSM picking up the buff for themselves.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty weak one, but it's still an Elder Dragon all the less. So it's just Baron buff is going to tick away. Now they get to defend their base, and this is more gold because those super minions are going to keep clearing the waves of TSM. That gold doesn't go to any member of 100 Thieves, so TSM are now going to be in a spot where they can wave clear. They're stronger with the Elder Dragon buff, so you don't want to engage on them as 100 Thieves, and there's no real neutral objective to push for here on the map for 100 Thieves. So TSM are in a spot that I actually think is pretty good for the defense.
We'll see how much longer they can hold. They do have an inhibitor respawning just now there in the mid lane, so a bit less pressure on the map now for 100 Thieves just being generated thanks to those. But the Thieves will continue to push up here on the bottom side. Cody's son loses half his HP to the Winds of War, and the Thieves need to back out.
Yeah, I was about to say that Bjergsen is now on 4 items. His death cap just gives him 175 AP from the passive. So it's a 295 AP item. He is sitting at 613 AP on this Galio.
Yeah, you're going to need some MR on the side of 100 Thieves if you want to be able to deal with that one. But 5 items on the mid laners, 5.5 items on the AD carries. We are approaching the end game. We're near the summit of the power that these champions are going to hit this time around. So it's not so much going to be about the small gold lead that the Thieves have had for the whole game. It's just going to be about who plays it better, who executes right. Can Afromu continue to find those engages, or will TSM once again hold the line? Baron and Elder both down, so there's not any big neutral objective that will force TSM to come out of the base and try to contest for. 100 Thieves just backing away, playing this one slow, waiting for the chance to strike. Like we mentioned earlier, they're not falling into that trap that they fell into yesterday, saying, okay, we've got some information, let's just go for it, and this should work out. Everything needs to be a certainty this game.
Especially at this point as well. You have to have, with so many people trying to call things because there's so many veterans on both these teams, you really do have to have that one unifying voice, and it has to be the correct call as well. Because if you follow a wrong call at this point in the game, we've seen TSM able to defend their base off of Hanser getting a true damage kick onto Cody when they're trying to push. Things like that, those small things where people aren't in the right position, just make all the difference. And now we have Baron in 1 minute and 30 seconds. It feels like it was just up a second ago.
Well, 100 Thieves want to try to continue controlling this one, seal the deal with it if they can. TSM will do everything in their power to prevent that, but last time, their plans were foiled. 100 Thieves played the Baron fight very well, forced Mike Young away. Mike Young on that Zac sitting on 4 items right now, so normally you would look at a Zac with a Cinder Hulk and a Spirit Visage and a Randuin's and you'd say, hey, he's pretty tanky. But when you look at the damage itemization on the carries of 100 Thieves, he doesn't feel that tanky.
I would say, though, that he's actually in a pretty okay spot because there's no penetration on the side of Ryu. Ryu actually itemized more for defensive properties because he's going to get dove and he needs a way to survive. So doubling down on both the Zhonya's and the Seraphs has made it so he doesn't have Void Staff at this point. Might be his 6th item, but even then he doesn't have Death Cap. Right now, Bjergsen has like 100 more AP than him. He actually has 106 more AP on himself, and now he actually has that potion on top of it.
We'll see if Ryu does go for the Void Staff here. Wouldn't be too surprised to see that as a pick up, especially since Death Cap doesn't build out of one anymore.
2 needlessly large rods.
That still throws me for a loop, man. I'm still used to only seeing 2 needlessly large rods in the inventory and thinking the guy is trolling.
Yeah,
now it actually builds into an item.
I made a big mistake because somebody was like, they posted a Reddit clip of Faker, and he looked tilted, and then he bought 2 needlessly large rods, and I was like, oh, he's mega tilted. I was
No,
like,
he's really tilted.
No, he's not.
Buying
He's
these
just
stupid
buying a new item. That's what we get for being junglers, not mid laners.
Yeah, that's what you get for never actually having to buy any of those things.
Yeah, not a lot of AP junglers. But anyway, in this game, though, Hanser running up mid, and right now, Baron is on the table, and it just looks like another team fight. It's not a split push here. It's not a macro game. Everybody's just trying to get to the other person's backline or play it front to back, and we'll see what Afro's able to do on his engage and what TSM are able to do to counter.
So much of this game has been Afromu finding the times to go in. Someday, might have looked like he was caught out there for a second. Steadfast Presence going to be disengaging this one. Looking to fight here in the corridor. Stun down onto Mithy. Into the back line goes Afromu. Lots of stuns all across the board. Mike Young looking to drag some back. They're going to pop the Resurrect. Can they find anything else? TSM looking to run for the hills as Hanser falls. Mike Young trying to get away through the backside, as 100 Thieves will now take control over this game for the next 54 seconds. Hanser down. Mike Young still alive. Smite steal potential is there. TP from Bjergsen into the bottom part of the map. Wants to go for something with this massive minion wave here. 100 Thieves going for the Baron themselves. Mike Young nowhere nearby to steal this one away. But now, what do the Thieves decide to do? You've got to try to stop Bjergsen here. It's going to be 5 backs. Bjergsen getting himself away will not find the inhibitor itself, but cracks the base open by taking the turret. Let's take another look at how this fight broke out.
Bjergsen has ultimate this entire time, but they're looking for just a better opportunity to use it. You see he walks up here. Still, doesn't feel like there's enough people around. Then there's the ultimate going down. Yeah, it just seems like Mithy eats Haunter there. Haunter then gets caught up in that stun, and then his Guardian Angel is just popped afterwards. So Bjergsen never uses the ultimate in this fight because he doesn't feel like there's an opportune time to do it. And that's the combo right there. You're supposed to be able to just push both of those ultimates and somebody's going to get obliterated, but it looked like they just never found the opportunity to do so.
100 Thieves now with another Baron. Trying to find the opportunity to use that as Meteos will be forced to flash away, nearly getting himself caught out there. Afromu and Someday still thinking about maybe making something happen here. Another well-timed, steadfast presence from Someday's Poppy. I talked about how I've been impressed with this guy throughout this game. The Poppy proven to be a solid pick for him here as 100 Thieves will push up the top side in towards the inhibitor. They've got 2 exposed inhibs, 1 still left with the turret to defend it. Cody Sun only taking 2 ticks of damage from the Winds of War, but will lose his shield as well as a little bit of his health just from those 2 minor ticks. Bjergsen, we talked about how much damage he's doing on this Galio. You've really got to respect that if you're the 100 Thieves backline. TSM not willing to yield this inhib. They're saying, we know this is a fight in open ground, but we're pretty sure we can still take it.
Yeah, and Bjergsen, he does a lot of damage if it lands onto somebody like Cody Sun, but if he's positioning correctly, you're not going to find those. And he'll also do a lot of damage to Someday, but Someday's just itemized towards making sure he can soak all of those Mystic shots. He has 430 armor right now on this Poppy, so he is 100% okay.
Haunter doing a lot of damage there to Meteos. Meteos jumping away. Haunter trying to escape. TSM still hold the line for now, but it's Ryu who's managed to find his way towards the inhibitor. Jumped on there by Mike Young, who's not going to go with a full engage on this one. Ryu down to 1/4 HP means 100 Thieves have to back away from this one. Oh, they came so close to getting that inhib. TSM doing a good job with that defense.
Yeah, a lot of that wave clear from the Galio Q. Believe, yeah, it was a single Galio Q. I don't see much else actually hitting Ryu there. And did about 1,500 HP to him. Oof, that's a lot. Yeah, it's a hell of a lot. But now Elder Dragon on the table, 15 seconds on it. Remember, this is the Uber Elder Dragon, if TSM get it.
Uber Elder Dragon.
Right, the first one for a team is only that 35 burn, etc. This one is just like out of this world, doubles all the buffs that you have, gives you like 90 plus true damage, even if you don't have very many, and the duration is longer, I believe, if you have this one. I believe it goes up to 3.5 minutes, but hold on.
If there's a fight to make, this is going to be it. They're able to go in. 100 Thieves looking to go on to Bjergsen. Can they find the damage? Mike Young with a kidnap into the back line as Cody Sun's looking to evade onto Haunter. Mike's taken low. Bjergsen's taken low. TSM is routed, and 100 Thieves are looking to go straight for the jugular. Bjergsen is down. Make that one a 4-for-1. Ben can't do anything. And the Thieves make the victory march down mid lane.
Instead of waiting for the Elder Dragon, they pull the trigger. 100 Thieves come out on top right now. Sven's trying to just say, I can clear this wave. No minions, but it doesn't matter. They have no turrets.
100 Thieves says, you can have the wave. We really don't care. We're just going for the Nexus. And 46 minutes into the game, 100 Thieves will take down TSM and claim their hard-earned victory.
100 Thieves had a little bit of a slip yesterday, but that was something that when I talked to Prawley about it, he's like, there's not much you can take from that game. We lose in the first few minutes because then it just snowballs. You can't look at those mid-late game fights. It's just clean that up, and then the rest of it will fall into place. And right there, 100 Thieves, from the get-go, very calm, collected game, controlled it, and then won those team fights.
Calm, collected game, no over-aggression. We talked about how we wanted to see Afromu be that big playmaker again, and how we wanted to see Someday step up from a lackluster performance yesterday, and both of those boxes got big fat check marks.
Oh yeah, Afromu not having to worry about global ultimates from the top lane. Now he has to worry and play around things like the Galio, but he's still able to find those pockets. In that last fight, he protected Cody Sun. Cody Sun took pretty much no damage in that last fight and was heavily protected from that Rakan. Cody Sun, once again, a huge game from him. 53,000 damage in 46 minutes. That DPM is just going to look better and better and better.
And he got in a couple of different situations where it looked like, oh, is TSM going to get him here? But he played it well. He used the ultimate